question?
Thank you, Chairman. Sir, I'm trying to understand the relevancy of your testimony to what.
The reality is.
No, and I don't.
The reality is. The reality is talking about merit. When you're talking about the regulatory framework that's been put in place.
No, but as it relates to the bill we're dealing with
so when you're
tonight.
when you're talking about the bill and you're and separating the powers, Department of Health and the Department of DBR, what you're getting is a lot of this, right? And and how the regulations are going to be implied, you're going to be getting a lot of this. I think truthfully, when, going and visiting Parliament and going and being able to go and see the EU, I noticed one thing in particular that I was against, or that I'm actually in favor of, is having a party that is independent, that shows transparency throughout this entire process. I think Rhode Island being a small state as it is, everybody knows each other. You know the person, this person knows the person, and there's always going to be a skew as far as, who gets the license or what have you. I think if the focus is merit and your focus is the benefit of the patients, that's why we're talking about what we've built in our facility, and we've also applauded how some of these other cultivators have been able to go and do the same thing. So that really is the point of why we spoke about our facility, because the reality is we've also haven't had the fair opportunity to be able to showcase what we've been able to do for the state.
Okay, so you're not a cultivator.
We are right now pending our license from the DBR to get our cultivation license.
And are you applying to be a compassion center under the new potential?
We would like to apply, as a dispensary as well. Yes.
Okay.
And then as far as merit portion, our umbrella does have quite a bit of experience. Out of 800 entries in the state of California, we took first in 3 of the top 5 categories.
Okay, but you're getting far afield.
Yep.
The issue that I think you're trying to say is that the compassion centers should be able to grow their own product because there's a risk of contamination in the transfer from the compassion from the cultivators to the compassion centers.
I actually come from the industry, so I'm actually in favor of having all the cultivators be able to be part of all of this. But the reality is that each one of these, if you want to be taken seriously, all the cultivators have to adhere to the possible medical regulatory framework that is going to be coming from the FDA. They've already kind of done that with the hemp side.
This bill doesn't exempt them from any subsequent department regulations that would impose standards?
What do you mean?
No, but so you spoke a lot about FDA, similar to FDA standards.
Yep.
There's nothing in this bill that would prohibit the department through its regulatory regime to impose those standards on the grows.
But okay, but like for instance, if you're looking at that, you should look at the 3 entities. You should look at the new possible licenses that are coming in, and are they showing and demonstrating a plan of merit that will allow them to achieve those standards?
So are you saying that in this bill we should have language that directs the Department of Health to have a regulatory framework to ensure cleanliness of facilities?
Absolutely.
Understand. So you're suggesting that we add to this bill additional powers for the department to make sure that they have the power.
Measure twice, cut once, and if you know it's coming in the future, if you can already mimic what's been happening in the hemp industry and how the FDA has come in and chimed in, why wouldn't you want to do it for the medical industry?
Okay, so your testimony is basically that we need additional language in this bill, not that we need to take anything out.
No, yeah, I'm in favor of it. I just think that there has to be things that are put in place to allow, if this is going to be treated as a medical and in the future it's going to be talking about recreational, yes, you have to put more standards in place to allow for transparency and the fact that liability for those cultivators and for the dispensaries, because at the end of the day, the patients are, the most important out of everything. So I think any patient who has cancer or anything is going to want to hear exactly what it is that I'm saying.